Hello, everybody on the online. I am Mel, and today I am going to be talking about Scream 6. There are obviously going to be spoilers in this video, so get into that. So I will get straight into it. First off, didn't love it. So I was just like, okay, so this is like every other Scream movie I've ever seen. Apparently, Chad's going to get stabbed in every single one of these, and I am just kind of bored. And I guess part of that is because my expectations were really high, and not high as in I thought I was going to be seeing like high art, but I guess I fell for the marketing, the taglines that were just like New York, new rules. And in the trailer, the guy's like, I am something different. And I was like, oh, okay. They're gonna be getting wild in this Scream, and I'm into it. So I was ready for it to get just completely just like out of bounds. I was ready for it. There have been like 5 previous installments of this movie, and they're just reiterations of the same thing. And I thought that they were finally going to like just take it there for a minute, and then they didn't. So, first of all, let's start with the opening, okay, which was a roller coaster. So, when I'm first watching it, you know, I, they kind of sets the tone for the whole movie. I feel if I were to rank like my favorite Scream movies and my favorite openings, they would pretty much be the same thing with some, we're gonna move a little bit around. I actually liked the opening of Scream 3, which is apparently a controversial opinion, but I liked it. No, Scream 3 as a movie was fucking terrible, which is apparently is not a controversial opinion, but I did like the opening a lot. So sue me, take me to jail. Anyway, so this opening starts, and I'm thinking, okay, weak sauce opening, weak sauce premise for an opening. I'm like, so you lure some girl into an alley and stab her? Like, like who cares, right? So I'm bored by that already. And then shit gets crazy. So the killer takes his mask off, like right away, and you see the guy, and we're like, we can't know who the killer is 5 minutes into the movie. This is insane. Like, there are rules here, right? And then it's like, actually, there are not. Remember, that's the whole thing. So I was like, okay, I see you, Scream 6. You are really out here getting crazy, and I am on board. So then you see him interacting with like Tara, and you're like, what are they doing here? Are we really going to have a Scream movie where we observe the killer the entire time? Like, they are getting they are getting like, I know Scream movies are meta, but they are getting completely out of control here. And I was on board. I was like, you know what, fuck it, get out of control. New York, new rules, right? And so I'm just like, where are they gonna go with this? And then like 2 seconds later, it goes downhill right after that, right? The kid who you think you were gonna see this whole time ends up being killed by like the real Ghostface. He has a partner in his Ghostface crimes who we never see because we see him chopped up in the fridge like right away. And so the actual Ghostface of the movie, kills these decoys in the very beginning, and then we are boom straight into a regular Scream. And I was just like, oh, okay, well, I'm still listening. You still have my attention because that opening was very strange, and I felt intrigue, which is not something that I often feel in these kinds of like dumb slash 'em up movies. But then we get into it, and then it turns into just Scream 6. We're doing the same thing that we do in every Scream movie. We introduce some new disposable characters who can be killed at any time. One of these new disposable characters is a killer. And Mindy, who's like the new Randy, is given all the rules. And in every movie they lay these rules down, which may or may not actually be followed, by the way. They lay these rules down just for fun because they have nothing to do with what actually happens in the movie, right? So Mindy's laying down her rules, which you can completely ignore. Where was I? Where was I? So we're back to regular Scream, right? And I guess some of the killings are more public, and I guess that's part of the whole shtick. Like, oh, we're in New York now, so we kill people like on subways, and nobody notices or whatever. And we like, what are we doing? So we have some slightly more, public killings now. Even though, I mean, in Scream 1, they killed in Scream 1, they killed Tatum in like the garage at a party. So, I mean, I guess they've never been too afraid of chancing it. But anyway, so another thing that's absolutely insane is that the killers are so freaking obvious, like crazy obvious. Like, I know there's always some smug asshole who's always like, "Oh, I knew who the killers were right away," right? But like, this was insanely obvious. No one has been a more obvious killer to me since Billy Loomis, right? So one thing that these Scream movies does every single time is have a. Let me back up a little bit. So immediately I knew that the cop and the girl were the killers right away. Um, there was some third killer whose name I forget because he was such a forgettable character that I literally forgot that he existed. Like I like I legit forgot that this guy was even in the movie. Anyway, so it's very like obvious who the Ghostface killers are, and in every single Scream movie, they always have some fake out death, some fake out stabbing, and I don't know why they do it. Like, well, they do it to fuck with the audience, right? Like, so the very first movie, we knew that Billy Loomis was a killer the entire time. Everybody knew it was so freaking obvious, and it got so obvious that you were at some point thinking to yourself, it cannot be Billy because Wes Craven would never play a bitch like this. You just start to think that it can't possibly be Billy because unlike real life, it's not the person that you most suspect in a movie, right? It should be, if we're gonna subvert expectations here, it's gotta be someone else. Like, and they are pushing Billy Loomis so hard that it's insane. And then you see him get stabbed by the Ghostface guy. And this is when the movie, we're in Act 3 now, right? And we're like, it's not Billy. They fucked with me so hard that I continued to believe that it was Billy, even though I knew it couldn't be because it was so insane, but it had to have been. And then you're just like, well, what the fuck now? And then it turns out, just kidding, like it actually was Billy all the time. And it's like, well, why would they have done that? Like what would the purpose be in real life, right? If you were actually Stu and Billy, like, what would be the point of that? To fake Sydney out for a minute and then kill her? Like, why would you do that? It's to fuck with the audience, right? And so Scream has found some iteration of this in every other version of this movie. And so when you have someone who you know is a killer and you see them get stabbed or shot or whatever, you can just ignore it because there's a fake out every single time, right? The last movie when Richie got stabbed in the hospital, I was like, yeah, that's a fake out stab. I didn't even cause me any pause. So when we saw Homegirl get killed, I was just like, yeah, that's the fake out. They do it in every movie. I just knew it was her. I knew it was her cop dad. Now the brother, I did not know it was him because I forgot he existed. So anyway, like Scream continues to like follow the formula that like they do in like every single movie, and they try to throw some shade on Kirby and pretend like it was her. Like they have the cop be like, have the FBI call the Atlanta Bureau or whatever the fuck he said, like to try to cast some suspicion on her. And it's just like, it's not fucking Kirby, dude. Like, so like the whole time I'm watching this movie, I'm just like, okay. So where are the New York new rules? Like, where's the like, you hear like the Ghostface guy, I'm something different. You're like, where is the difference? I don't know. I guess the only surprise in the movie was that, yeah, I think the only surprise in the movie was the kid that I completely forgot about happened to be one of the killers. So so that's how I feel about Scream 6. I wanted to love it, but I didn't. I will still see Scream 7 because I have seen all of the Scream movies. It's like, they got me when I was young, like the cigarettes, when I saw the first Scream, it was a very, very long time ago. I was actually too young to even get into that movie. I had to sneak into it, don't tell my mom. Um, so they got me. So now I'm going to keep watching them. So for the same reason why I watched all those seasons of Top Model, even though the show had gone to shit a long time ago, I just kept fucking watching it. So I'm going to keep watching these Screams. I hope that Scream 7, they actually do some real shit. I hope that they actually get crazy. And you don't have to go completely insane. You don't have to like reinvent the wheel. Like, if there are certain things that the Scream like franchise is, then don't like abandon them, but don't be so fucking predictable. Okay, I guess I'm done now. That was like a little shorty video, but I just really had to get off my chest how I felt about Scream 6. Bye.